Section 4.1D is a motion response regarding winter shelter protocol. Is there a Richard speak on this one, Mr. Clark?
Robert Whalen.
I'm Robert Anthony Whalen. I'm 40 years old. I'm homeless in Lowell, Mass. I live behind a dog park near St. Memorial.
My name is Jose Pagan. I'm 43 years old. I'm homeless, and I also live behind the dog park.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Robert Whalen. I am one of the unhoused that have been living in Lowell for 8 years now.
City Council, they'll talk about anything, any topic in the agenda, but there's nobody there that's the agenda about talking.
So there's a few things. I've been one of the kids that have been homeless more of my life than I have lived in a house. So I'm more comfortable living outside. Due to the protocol, it's not detrimental to a lot of people's stability or recovery that they're in right now because of all the open uses of drugs and alcohol and other unsavory things that are going on the street over there. So for me, my problem is right now is the injustice and wrong that is happening to the tent communities. I live behind the dog park on 1st Street. I don't know if you guys ever go by St. Memorial. So the ramp right there, I live behind the dog park. Last week, they gave us 5 days to acquit to leave there. So I'm supposed to be leaving tomorrow, but now they're saying Saturday. So the problem is that we had no formal notice of to leave or to basically vacate any land over there, but the land has been abandoned and not maintained by anybody, city or DPW. When I first got there, it was all torn down tents and basically rubbish. I cleaned it up with the local river cleanup crew, right? That's it? Yeah, Lowell Lit Up crew. I got actually thanked for doing it. I've been there for 8 years. I've been maintaining the property. Now they're telling me I have to leave in the middle of Christmas. Like, what do we do here? I can't go to the shelter. I'm banned from the shelter because of the actual, like, all the alcohol and people that got vigilantly out of hand, and so I'm not allowed there anymore. I've utilized all the aspects that we have here. I've gone to CTI, I went to RCA, I've gone to multiple different places. Now it's like, okay, you're trying to tell me I have to leave my house. Where do I go? That's all I have to say, and I don't know what else to say about that.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We'll discuss it a bit. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I appreciate all of you coming to the chamber to listen to this conversation. This session is a public meeting, but you would have to register to speak. But from the Councilor Janess, any comments?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to thank the administration for this report and apologize because what came back wasn't entirely what I was looking for, but I think that's a me problem. I'm still learning all the terminology here. I was unaware that winter protocol specifically applied to a declared emergency or anything. I thought it was for the whole year. So I guess I still have some open questions in my mind about kind of where we're at as a community in terms of the unhoused population, how our numbers look now compared to a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Are the efforts we're making actually working and helping the situation? What else do we really need to do to help these folks and really get these issues addressed? Additionally, I was reading through this, and it sounds like the only two programs that are mentioned are the Transitional Center and the Elliott Day program. Are there? I have to assume there are other organizations in the city that work with the unhoused population, particularly during the winter, to keep them safe, keep them warm. So I'm just a little curious what other community partners are involved, and what we've been doing in order to really coordinate this stuff. I know that the homelessness coordinator is fairly new to the city and is still getting up and running, and I'm just trying to understand where we are and where we're going, and what kind of change we've been able to affect to this point, and what are the next steps in this process. So
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. To answer the question in regards to the number of beds, over at LTLC, there's 110 winter protocol beds that are available. There's also 50 hotel rooms, and the council is going to be invited over to Westford Street to view what LTLC has been doing with some individual shelters. There are going to be a number of beds over there, as well as on Andover Street, totaling 30. So we're looking at 190 beds, or 190 opportunities for folks. CTI also currently right now has 100 hotel rooms, possibly with getting 15 more. We have been talking to CTI, we've talked to LTLC. We had a meeting with LCC last week as well. There's been a lot of communications back and forth. And what our real main goal here is for folks is the compassion to get a roof over people's heads, food, and safety and security.
He was prepared. He had all these answers, and he had his little ducks in order, but his basket was only a quarter way full. He didn't have enough eggs in there because he's giving off numbers that really aren't here. Because I did the research. I went to Andover Street. I went to the Merrimack Street. I've seen all these places he spoke about. The beds aren't there. They're already full. In the winter protocol beds, they say 190 beds. There's 230 of us in Lowell. You still got what? That's 40 people. 40 people still on the street. You know what I mean? But if you take the numbers down from the disasters that we had here, that leaves almost 130 people out, because they put people up who were already housed in places that lose their house. They shut down the sanctuary. So there's 40 people they kicked out. That takes away from the 190. You know what I mean? And then you got the Ward 8, the pipes bursted above the bar. All those people that are in housing just got kicked out. So now they're all up in hotel rooms. And there's definitely not enough beds. You're building new buildings, but you're not taking the old ones that we have, all the old infrastructures. You could make shelters for that. The winter emergency protocol is only there for extreme weather, like a snow flurry, blizzard, torrential downpours, but it's not there for the day-to-day us being homeless. That's the question that we wanted answered. What are we gonna do for all the homeless that are spread out through the city, and that they're coming to tell us we have to move from our places?
Councilor Gishio?
So just to clarify what Manager Golden said is, how many people have we reached out to, and do we have enough beds that are required to house the people that we've reached out to before we displace them?
Mr. Manager?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. We wouldn't displace anybody without some place for them to go.
Okay, and with that being said, at the same time as having a place for them to go, do we have services that can help them today and for the future at the same time as just displacing them?
Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through to the council. Yes, every councilor here voted in the affirmative on the ARPA monies that we put forth, and that's some of that money that we will be looking towards the first quarter and the second quarter of January. We've talked about co-op. We've talked about doubling co-op. Once again, the two folks that I just mentioned earlier, they are working on a plan. This is something, as everybody knows, is a work in progress, and it's a real work in progress. I've committed to all of you that I would work on this every week, and I have. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting today with some of the providers. Some couldn't make it, and that's okay. We're going to continue working with everybody. Tomorrow is our standing meeting. We'll have another discussion tomorrow with senior leadership to find out where can we go? Who has the best ideas? What is happening, not just in the city of Lowell, but around the country?
It doesn't reflect my experience outside, because he didn't talk about living outside. He gave fabricated numbers is what he did. I don't know if anybody's seen the video, but he fabricated numbers. He came up with 190 numbers and he said, don't quote me on it. Okay. But for the experience of living outside, you can't. It's like there's no way to explain actually living outside, being being weary of the uncertainties of what'll happen. Because any time somebody can come and harass somebody in the middle of the night in the middle of the woods, God forbid, like their tent on fire while they're sleeping. I'd like to open up a discussion every week. Like, even with the subcommittee, we can figure something out instead of doubling the funds for the co-op, the Essex County Sheriffs, who they say are doing a fabulous job. No, a tremendous job running point. But it's been since December 6th that they haven't came out and seen us to do the wellness checks. I don't see them walking around downtown, nothing, but they want to spend funds on that. But what I got to say to the city council is, let's open up a conversation. This has to start from now. It's only going to get worse. There's people are losing houses right now. They can't pay their rent. It's only going to get worse. We have to start opening up in the dialogue now, so we can actually figure out a resolution to this, a solution. Because spending funding on CTI, on the co-op, on other things, you could take that money, refab one of the old buildings you have, like the Armory down there, refab it into 5x5 or 6x6 little rooms that you could put individual people in there, one person in a room. You know what I mean? That's enough beds right there. There's plenty of construction workers out here that are homeless right now because it's hard to find a job because of COVID just stopped. It's still here, but it's not rampant as much. And let them do the work. They'll fix it. Nobody yet this year has died from being outside, so thank God for that. But we have to start an actual dialogue here. It's already open. The floor is open. I'm just waiting on them. I keep leaving them messages and everything. They never call back. It's not just me. There's other homeless that want to talk to you guys too. They have ideas about what we should do too. And it's not just throw us under the rug. Put on a napkin you blew your nose in and throw it in the garbage. We're actually human beings and citizens of Lowell, and we need help. You say go to all these programs and utilize all the tools. CTI, I literally, not to badmouth them, my caseworker literally put me off for 3 years now, told me I was the next in line for a hotel room, and then she changed positions without even telling me. She left her position where she was working to work at another part of CTI. So now I'm left in the wind again. They should be overseeing the $500,000 that they already gave CTI in the funding. You know what I mean? And now they want to double the co-op. Watch the money because you give me and this kid half of that, $100,000. I bet you we'll have a house and we'll be starting a business by the end of the week.
Councilor Leahy?
Thank you. I just want to make sure, I understand what you're saying, and it's it means well, but in my dealings with CTI and different groups, they do know the people that are on the street, and they do know where they are, and they sit with them, and they talk to them, and they offer them options. But it's a two-way street. If someone doesn't want to give up a tent for a room in a hotel, I don't know where we go from there. But there is a lot of people working out there. There's a lot of people that know what's going on in the city, and I give them a lot of credit. So I just want to make sure that it is clear to anybody watching the meeting, we do have representatives out there.
There's a bunch of homeless people that are coming together now. So let's just actually show up to one of these meetings with like 60 of us and let them see how many actually homeless that are intensely active about not wanting to be homeless anymore. That's the thing, is that they think we're comfortable here and that we're satisfied with being homeless. That's why they just keep ignoring us and ignoring us and ignoring us. And not every protest non-profit organization can actually talk for us. They know because, hey, they come out, they spend a couple of hours, this, that, and the other, not saying nothing bad. You know what I mean? But when the sun goes down and we're sitting in the middle of the dark with our little fire that the cops come and tell us we have to put it out, and we put it out, then we're in the pitch dark. There's nobody else around. It gets eerie. That's the thing that a lot of people that aren't homeless don't get, is that the unsecure feeling that you get. You know what I mean? It's the unsecure feeling. Because I don't have a deadbolt on my house. I don't get to lock my windows. I don't get to put in my alarm. You know what I mean? I am my alarm. I am my alarm. I wish they would come out and see us and spend a couple of hours and see the experience of what goes on for real, instead of like just looking at it through a body camera on a cop or something. Being unhoused, there's a lot more that the city council and the whole city of Lowell needs to know. It's not just, hey, we pull up a curb and go to sleep. Somebody fell asleep on the sidewalk because they have nowhere else to go and they've been up for 5 days. And it's not, a lot of times it's not due to drugs either. It's due to the fact that you're unsecure and you don't know where to, you can't go to sleep because you don't feel safe. And that's the sad part. We don't feel safe, so we don't sleep. And then we end up passing out in the middle of a public somewhere, on a sidewalk or in front of a school. And it's not good for anybody. It's not good for our kids to see that. It's not good for the person sleeping on the floor, that somebody could rifle through his pockets while he's passed out, or the worst thing, he could probably get hurt, get harmed. But we always pray against that. But we gotta do something other than sitting on our butts and literally not focusing on the real issue. Is that it's gonna get colder in the next month, and someone might end up dying. And God forbid it, but I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to freeze to death outside. And that's what it boils down to, is that somebody has to step up. This is the right time. We're in 2023. It's a new year, new quarter, as they call it, the new quarter. Put us on the top of the list, because there's nothing else more important. Not the celebration of lights. I'm not talking anything bad about the celebration of lights or anybody's prerogative towards it. There's nothing more important in Lowell, Mass, than the homeless right now. There isn't. The people from Lowell are great, man. I listen. Lowell's great. They're warm-hearted citizens. They got a lot of charity, and they literally are willing to help, even though there's signs that say stop panhandling. They literally, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't eat sometimes. Believe me, I wouldn't be able to eat at night sometimes if it wasn't for the people of Lowell. Even in the morning, it's like, it's touching, because like they'll come out of their way, bring coffee, donuts down to the dog park, or there's a guy from G&G's that drops off pizza every other week. You know what I mean? St. Francis, always love St. Francis, man. They bring lunch, they bring a week's worth of food every Saturday. And then it's just other people too. They just come out of their heart, and they bring plates that they made with their own plates from home and have it wrapped up and give it to us sometimes. It's Lowell's people aren't the problem, because they're ready for a change of homelessness. You can ask anybody, they don't want to see us out here. There's some people that say, oh, they're an eyesore, they're lazy, da-da-da. Listen, we wake up every day, we go job hunting. I've filled out applications at the same stores over and over and over. So it's not that we're lazy, we're broken. We have nothing else. We've lost it all. We've tried to regain it. Still have failures and hurdles and stuff we have to jump over. But it's not the people of Lowell that really need the awakening. It's City Hall, the City Council. They need to wake up. Stop frivolously spending money on all these programs that you think are running point and doing good, and actually benefit the homeless. the Unhoused Awareness Organization. We're designing Homeless Lives Matter 2 t-shirts. I put the logo on my face. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's the symbol of unluckiness getting repaired to whatever your higher power is, basically. But I say God, because that's what a cross represents to me. Get a plain white t-shirt, make up your own Homeless Lives Matter 2, put it on Facebook. They can send it to LLAMA, send pictures, and we'll go from picking a logo through that. Because I would rather have a little kid scribble in crayon on a shirt, Homeless Lives Matter, and I would wear that, because it's just change. Change has to happen, and there's no change if we don't press the issue. It's awareness. We all have to have awareness for the homeless. It's not just some guy who's scruffy and looks like a dirt ball. You know what I mean? He's an actual human being, and he might have a story that will change your life or make you cry. You know what I mean? So just think about it next time you see a homeless person, dude. What he went through. You know what I mean? Your story might be worse than his. He might just had a bad run of luck. You know what I mean? But Homeless Lives Matter, and that's all basically that we look forward to. We want to matter. You know what I mean? We don't want to just be seen and not heard, or heard and not seen. It's not like dealing with a balloon you can let go. We're here with the community too.